Hey people, it's Kelly at Print Pray Slay. You are going to see me in this attire maybe more than once on a video because it is spring break and I happen to have no kids in my house right now. So I was going to take the opportunity to really dive into some of these videos and get them done. So no, it has not been days and weeks, even though days and weeks between the videos, it has not been days and weeks of me wearing the same thing. So I have my book, The Shack. All right, this is my favorite movie. I've explained that in different reels and stuff on different social media platforms, but I did want to bring it here on YouTube because I plan on doing a series of me going through. So I'm annotating in this book. I showed you how I did the stickering and everything like that. Hopefully you all like that video as well. But now that that is done and it's all beautified, and something I love picking up, something I love seeing on the side of my nightstand, I want to dive into what's on the inside of this book and what's making me take notes and things like that. So kind of like telling you about the story, to be honest. So I'm going to go through chapter 1. We'll see if I do chapter 2. I just finished recording a video like in real time using going through chapter 2 and annotating it, but I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you what's going on with the forward and see if I get into that and chapter 1 and chapter 2, or if I'm going to break them out in different videos. We'll see what the time is looking like when I finish explaining the forward. So right now this video is about the forward. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around now. Okay, so I have here everything that I'm using to annotate. So you will see my flags. I'm pretty much only using these ones on this page, on this side, and I think a blue or orange over here, but mostly these. So I have my mile liners. I am using this one and this one so far. I've only used these 3. But based on my key, I do plan on using, this is my orange, my pink, and I don't think I have purple. Did I have purple? Yep, purple is in there. And my purple. All right, beyond the mile liners and the tags are the post-it notes. These are just based on size, not necessarily color. So whatever size I'm going for what I have to write. And then from there, I probably pick a favorite color. But mostly based on size. All right. I have yet to use the really, really big ones, but I saw that there are spaces where I can use these in there as well. Again, based on what I need to write. And then the pen that I chose was the Sharpie S Gel. Let me turn this off. Sharpie S Gel 0.38. So it's very, very fine tip. And that is because I'm writing in here. Yes, I am. All right. So let's get into, put these on the side so you can see that I'm using them. All right. I already did a video, like I said, about my stickering, my cover. This is a repositionable sticker paper. So if I wanted to change this out or just take it off, I can. So it's not permanent. This is just in here by accident. I will take it out eventually. And this is my key. I don't necessarily like this post-it note, but I didn't want to write my key directly in the book. Plus I plan on doing something in the book, like stickering, kind of. But for right now, I don't plan on having this permanently in the book, so I wrote it on here, but I'm not feeling the yellow. But it basically says the Shack key. So I have the Father. Anytime God speaks, God the Father, it's going to be in purple if I have something to highlight. I'm not just going to highlight the whole book. Son is going to be deep orange. Holy Spirit, pink. Mac, which is the main color, the main character, that's going to be in light orange. And then anything that brings me sorrow or sadness will be in dark blue, and then joy will be in light blue, and then general will be green. So most of what you will see will be this mint green. Now that I say that, there was some stuff that I didn't necessarily highlight in a dark blue. However, if I tend to not highlight it, like say I just go ham and just really, really like this highlighter, which I have done already, then I still will use the sticky note that will specify that it was, something else going on in there. Because at the time I hadn't decided if I was going to actually highlight with the different colors, but I recently did that with the blue and I kind of liked it. So I'm going to try to switch up the colors. There will be no differentiation between the oranges. I do have a deep orange, but I feel like it's going to be too deep for highlighting in here. I want it to have like light colors. So this orange is lighter. So I'll highlight in light orange for MAC and light orange for the sun, but it'll still be use this sticky note if I'm talking about Jesus. Well, if they're talking about Jesus. All right, so we get into the shack. So here is the contents. We have the forward, which to me seems like it's printed on a lopsided situation. Let me see this. I just now am noticing this. Let me see. I'm just going to humor myself. Yeah, it is printed lopsided. Oh my. That's weird, right? You see how much space is given between this and this? Okay, this is a nicer depiction of it. Oh, no. It's me. I'm lopsided. No, it is off. Okay, it's off. That is weird. Oh my. Okay, it's not really a matter. All right, so here's the forward. All right, so it goes into speaking from a different person's perspective of the story and how everything starts off. So I did want to say that I highlighted the full name of Mac, and his name is actually Mackenzie Allen Phillips. And again, that is our main character here. And what I did here was underline any words that I did not know. So I underlined them and wrote their definitions on the side. And the narrator at this point in time refers to Mac as externally religious. All right. And that is probably due to his background, which we'll get into. So he's suffering from church hurt right here. I'm saying that even the place where you feel like you're supposed to be safe, a place of worship in God, hardship can happen. So church hurt can turn folks from God. And this is what seems to be happening with Mac because of his father. His father ends up being a drunk. He's suffering from alcoholism, and he tends to put his hands on Mac's mother. All right. In that, I didn't know we were going to dive right into it, but yes, we did. Okay, so in that, Mac kills his father. All right, so the scene is that Mac is growing up with a father that is abusive and an alcoholic. He goes to the church and explains this to like an elder. The elder does not do much about it, but makes it known that he knows that Mac's father is doing this. Mac's father gets embarrassed by Mac exposing him in the church. And so he ties him to a tree, I believe, and beats him. All right. And so his mom doesn't do much about this, of course, because she is getting abused as well. And Mac ends up poisoning his father. All right. So all this happens right up in here. Like, we only 2 pages into the forward. Okay. And then I take a sticky note that doesn't even seem to be here. Oh, right here. This side sticky note. As a matter of fact, let me take another one out so that I can make sure I refer to this size. But I take a smaller sticky note out and I say my prayer about those being abused in any way. It just really, really led me to feel like I needed to do that, which makes me feel like I should have a dark blue post-it note right here. And was I using this one? Yeah. Because I thought that was really, really sad. Like, I don't even have any sticky notes on this whole page. I mean, not even sticky note. I have a sticky note. I don't have any page flags. So I thought that was really sad because I know that wasn't his intention to murder his father. But given the circumstances, he may have felt like that was his only way of getting out of this. But he was like a young kid. So he's 13. All right. So 13 is too young to be all grown up. But Mac had little choice and adapted quickly. So from a young age, he is now on his own because he left home after he killed his father. He poisoned him, if I didn't mention that before. He put poison inside of the alcohol that he knew his father would be drinking. So in his 20s, he ended up going into seminary in Australia. He ended up marrying a woman that he ends up calling Nan, even though her name is Nanette Samuelson. And I'm right here that I hope that Mac's marriage is better than his parents' marriage. You know, me getting to know the characters and all. And then it says he used to speak his mind more freely in his younger years, but now he's kind of reserved. He's like an introvert now, as a survival mechanism to cover his hurt. And then I make a note about how I used to do this for the same reason. But not this part. All right. About his humiliation while maintaining his own false sense of power and control. Kind of like distancing himself from other people in a different way. I didn't necessarily do that, but I did have a survival mechanism to cover up my hurt that I suffered through when I was younger. So it tends to be something common that people do. So just making sure you know that I make my little notes over here. This is when I noticed that I needed a thinner pen. I was using my S-Gel, one of these. This is a 0.7, and that's when I said I needed a 0.3. So 0.38 is what I have now. I don't know if there's a big difference in the nib. Yes, it is. All right, so this one is finer. So you can see that like my words were kind of blurring all together. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, this is the difference. So I don't know if you can see the differences in the two. It made a big difference for me. All right. So anything else on this page? No. All right. So now he's 56. I highlighted that just so we have a perspective of his age. And his favorite topics are all about God and creation and why people believe what they do. He's not very religious. All right. That doesn't mean that he doesn't believe in God. Religion, as opposed to belief, are different, to be honest. Religion is more of the practice and the things that people do in church and around each other with other Christians or among people in general that they relate to their relationship with God. I would say that would be religion. And then belief is wholeheartedly believing in your faith, believing that Jesus died for your sins and that God is real. So I get the sense at this point in time that Mac is a believer. Of course, he went to seminary school and he is, I believe, active in his church, but he is not a pastor of any sort. But he is knowledgeable of God, but he is not religious. All right. It says he seems to have a love-hate relationship with religion. But it says here, and maybe even with the God he suspects is broadening, distance, and aloof. All right. So he has still some anger there with God, but he does believe. He knows that he's real. He just has an anger issue. All right. Although we sometimes both show up on Sundays at the same place, same local pew and pulpit, Bible church. This is the narrator saying that he knows Mac. All right. So the narrator knows Mac and attends his church. We still don't know who the narrator is. That's my question. Who is the narrator? All right. Still don't have a sense of who that person is. And we are on page 14. All right, 15. Mac has been married to Nan for more than 33 years, and it says mostly happy, so that's good. I put a flag here, not just because of the highlights, but because of this quote. The quote I ended up specifying in this gray. I didn't put that on my key because I could have put it in green, but because it wasn't a quote from any of these people, it was a quote from the narrator, I just put it in gray. All my quotes will not be in gray. If it's a quote from Jesus, is that orange is for Jesus, right? Yeah. Orange, Jesus, or Mac, then it'll be in orange. This quote says, I suppose that since most of our hurt comes through relationships, so will our healing. I thought that was so nice. I really, really did. I thought that was really nice. All right. Also highlighted, while Mac's relationship with God is wide, Nan's is deep. All right. So we have wide, as in it's vast, as in we have a lot knowing and going on with it. Like, I know you, our relationship is wide, but deep is like rooted, as in, to me, a more full relationship. But I thought that was really, really neat. All right. And it says that they have 5 unusually beautiful kids. So I don't know why I didn't highlight 5. Why would I just highlight beautiful kids? All right. I didn't pick that up. All right. So then we go on, and the rest of the forward is going into, since his stay in the hospital 3 years ago, he has been, well, even nicer. So he, I guess, is warming up again towards the narrator's point of view. And I feel at home around him like I do with nobody else. So they're obviously close friends. With respect to God, Mac is no longer just wide. He has gone way deep, but the dive cost him dearly. So Mac's relationship with God is now deeper, but something happened in order for that deepness to happen. And that's when we get to the great sadness, all right, which happened almost 2 years ago, and their hanging out stopped. All right. So the great sadness entered his life, and he almost quit talking altogether. All right. The great sadness, what happened 3 years ago. Okay, so it happened 3 years ago, but 2 years is when their hanging out stopped. So I guess a year after it happened, him and the narrator were still close. And for the past 2 years of those 3 years since the great sadness, they stopped hanging out. All right. He asked if I would ghostwrite a story, his story. So that's what the narrator is doing. He's ghostwriting the story, which is the story of Mac. So it's the perspective of Mac, of course, but it is written through the hands of the narrator. So that's obviously his friend. I don't believe he would ask, like, Mac would not ask someone to do such a thing. Then he's writing the story for the kids and for Nan. All right. He wanted him to help him express to them not only the depth of his love, but also to help them understand what he had been going through inside his world. All right. And then I write a little prayer right here and say, God, I pray that I learn about you in this book and that I have fun. This book is not the Bible, of course, but it is an experience that I feel can be relatable to other people. That being myself, since I have watched the movie. Okay, know that, again, this is my favorite movie. I'm just not reading the book, and I feel like the book could give me more detail on the characters. You know, movies don't really get a chance to go into the character and a lot of the details of the surroundings. I've already gotten a sense of that when I went into chapter 1. The fact that there are 5 kids in this book, but in the movie there's 3. In chapter 2, I understand why the movie focused on only 3 and never even mentioned the 2 boys that Mac and Nan had that are in college. They're older, and they really so far they had nothing to do with the movie, but so far they really have nothing to do with the book either, but they did mention them, at least in the book. And then here we see Willie. All right, finally we meet Willie as the narrator. All right, I don't know if Willie is his neighbor. I don't know if Willie is his best friend. I don't know if Willie was anything other than that him and Willie have a relationship as friends, and that, or at least close associates. Willie is narrator, and Willie is also somebody that Mac knows from church. All right. And then there is chapter 1. So since we're already 18 minutes into the video, my videos, I tend to try to keep them shorter now. I will do chapter 1 in a separate video. You will still see this hoodie. All right, so I'm going to stop it here and check out for the next video on chapter 1. Let me know if you have any questions about this forward and how things are going. If you have a question about any of the supplies that I'm using in order to annotate here, if I happen to have missed something that I highlighted and didn't really go into, let me know if you have any questions about that as well. But this is how it is turning out for me so far, and I'm really enjoying myself. These chapters are very short, so as you can see, it's like page 18 to 27, so that is not long at all. All right, so I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.